Hello, welcome. In this lecture, we're starting with Heidegger. Now, Heidegger, will be discussing Heidegger under the philosophy existential phenomenology. Okay, we'll be discussing all the topics that are given in under the syllabus. So let's get started. Basic introduction first to Heidegger. I'm going to use capital H for Heidegger for the rest of the lecture. All right. Now, Heidegger is a German philosopher. He is regarded as one of the most important figures of the 20th century for his contribution in the field of existentialism, in the field of phenomenology. All right, these two important fields. Then we have discussed Sartre already, and we have discussed some bit from existentialism. Existentialism, for those of you who do not know up now, or who haven't understood it up till now, you see, existentialism is a philosophical method or an approach, right? The importance under existentialism, or I can say the central theme of existentialism, is basically an individual person, the individual subject, right? And this individual person being a free being. So you see, with the concepts that are extremely important here are freedom, or the freedom of will, or the concept of choice, right? Now, this free being is going to work according to the freedom of the will. No matter what existentialist philosopher you're going to talk about, these are some of the points which would be common to all of them, even if they are theist, even if they are atheist or agnostic. You see, this is what going to be constant throughout, right? Now, existential phenomenology. What does this mean? This is existential phenomenology is used with Heidegger's philosophy because it is in contrast with it is in contrast with the philosophy of his mentor. Now, who is his mentor? His mentor is Husserl, right? Why do I say in contrast? You see, there is Husserl and there is Heidegger. According to the philosophy of Husserl, okay, the emphasis is on epistemology, the emphasis is on pure epistemology, right? Whereas according to Heidegger, the emphasis is on existential phenomenology. Okay, the emphasis is before, you see here it is epistemology, but for Heidegger the emphasis is on ontology before epistemology. This is the easiest way to understand the difference between his mentor and him, right? So Heidegger's philosophy deal with observing, analyzing the concept of design. This concept of design is the most important concept under Heidegger's philosophy. Now we're going to understand this concept keeping in mind existential phenomenology, right? Let's get started. The first thing that you need to understand is this concept of design. This, yeah, design basically means being there. What does this mean? Heidegger basically comes up with the concept of ontological difference. Ontological difference. For those of you who do not know, ontology is basically the study of being, right? The difference, he says, is what is an entity and the being of that entity. Okay, he says this is the ontological difference. Okay, the latter, that is the being of that entity, let me change the color, the being of that entity is more, is more important according to the philosophy of Heidegger. Okay, according to him, the being of an entity, this deals with more meaningful presence of an entity within the range of human experience. So, the human entity, which is distinguished by the awareness of being of other entities, including the being of itself, is what is called the sign. You understand? So, he uses the word, simply put, the sign for human beings. Understood? Human beings, this HB is basically what he understands as having the awareness of the being of other entities, including the being of itself, right? This is what he says.